and the schedule works out pretty good. If you look at it, most of the airports are within an hour of the track. So I mean, fly in, grab a rental, and drive to the hotels, and then get ready to go the next day. So it works out pretty good.
Doug, moving on. What do you got coming up next?
This weekend we go to Attica and then to Sharon. Come home. We have 2 days in Atomic for their Memorial Day weekend. We get Sunday off, so we're gonna find a hotel and all get together and maybe have a few waters and a few pops and watch the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600, and then we go to Fremont on their Memorial Day weekend. So into the busyness of June, we get a little bit of a break in July, and then it's hammer down through July and August. That's really gets intense. I think there's a stretch there where I'm going to be on the road for about 3 weeks in the late part of July and early part of August, which will be hectic. But I mean, there's some big events I'm obviously looking forward to going to. I mean, Hugh sits with their high bank nationals and obviously the Knoxville Nationals.
Doug, what's the biggest difference so far between calling a weekly division show and calling the World of Outlaws?
I mean, obviously, we know 4 times are just that much faster, but we also got to bear in mind our guys at home are the almost professional, but they do it for a hobby. These guys do it for a living. So if you really make a mistake, you're messing with what they're putting on their table to feed their families. So I mean, there's that much more pressure I put on myself just to make sure we don't make those mistakes.
You know, we've been moving on without you. Things have been going all right so far, but how big of a heartbreak is it for you not to be here this weekend with everything going on?
No, I miss it. I mean, I've been watching Maryville on those drone shots and that. And I mean, I even texted you last week. I'm like, is G-Force going to be at practice? Like, I got to watch. I mean, I was getting pictures from Harper. She was in her glory back in her passenger seat in the Nitro 54 push truck, and the smile on her face was incredible and kind of brought a tear to my eye that I'm missing it, but I'm glad that she's happy and taken care of.
It does have to feel good that she's with a racing family. You know, 100%. At least she's not at home because Doug, that's how all three of us grew up at the racetrack. Not always under the watchful eye of our parents, sometimes under the watchful eye of who knows, but the fences that are around the speedways, I suppose. But we turned out just great.
Yeah. I mean, try to explain that to people that aren't involved in racing and explain the importance of the family and how once you're in, it's kind of like a drug and you just can't get out. I honestly don't see Harper on a given night on a Friday or Saturday. She just, I mean, thankful. I mean, I got to thank the people that are involved that they just take care of her. I mean, it's not that I won't take care of her. She just goes off and does her thing and all that stuff, and she knows where to be at the end of the night. So, I mean, thank you to you two. I mean, she talks about you guys a lot. She talks about everybody, but I mean, she knows her deal on Fridays and she knows her deals on Saturdays. She's more mad at me that she's missing Saturdays than anything. So
I have a hard time believing she talks about me. She hates me and has probably said 3 words to me our whole life together. So
you're growing on her. You're growing on her. You mean you'll be more important this year than Dave. So maybe you got that in.
Don't worry. When she starts telling you what I'm doing wrong, we'll really have some issues. But Doug, got a couple questions here. Fran wants to know, with the Outlaws, do you ever use replays for any of your calls?
It's there. I mean, the luxury's there. Every race that we go to, we have a video board with their vision. But our guys they race clean. I mean, you really don't have to use it. You might use it for an example as to, like, we had a situation at Lincoln where we had a flip, and I just happened to turn and look at it, turn forward, and seen the car flipping. I didn't see what started it. I mean, so you would go back to video replay on that and end up being a driver on that stuff. So not really, because they race themselves clean, but it is there if we need it.
Now, you alluded to it. These drivers are professionals. And what that means also is their fans are rabid. Have you been cussed out by any fans because they know that you're the one that might make calls? You're the big bad official. Do you get any fans, if Sheldon has a bad night? Is it your fault when you're walking by people with their shirts on?
They don't. I mean, they haven't come to me. If they go to anyone, they'll probably go to Carlton more than anything. I mean, I haven't been around it, and it's been good, but I've heard that Carlton Reimers being the series director, has got some he's got some tongue lashings and that, and they say he handles it in the most utmost professional way, and he just and he's talked to me about it. He's like, just let them go off, let them vent, and then I understand where you're coming from. And so no, I haven't. I mean, anybody who's come by our command center more wants our shirts, our t-shirts, and wants to know where we can get them. I probably could have sold them for $50 a piece if I really wanted to. But it's a cool little setup that we have. I mean, with the graphics on the side, so the fans that come by are more taking pictures of it.
I got 2 final questions for you. I'm going to give them to you both at once, and then Adam can send you home when he's done. First off, virtual flagger. You got to see it last week. Your thoughts on that? What do we got to do to get the World of Outlaws to Wash Weekend?
Wow. One lob ball and then a knuckleball right after. That was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Virtual flagger was really cool to see. For those that might have watched Dirt Vision, they actually filmed an individual waving the flag. So the gentleman who was running it was sitting right beside me. His name was JT. He was really cool about it. They showed, obviously green flag, 1 to go, 2 to go, white flag. He actually even had a 5 to go in his system, and then checkered flag. The brightness of it was really cool. The only thing I think might have been a downfall is for the fans that were sitting on the back straightaway. They didn't see it because they have a screen facing turn 4 and one facing the front grandstand. So just everybody on the back just didn't get an opportunity to see it. But certainly it was cool. Over the long run, imagine they're going to save on starters' wages. I don't know what the cost of it was, but it was kind of cool. The second question you broke up, I just didn't hear what you said, so I'll go to Adam's question.
Okay, my only final question, Doug, is what's it going to take to get the Outlaws to Ohsweken?
Okay, you guys have a good night. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Then when I come home, and I'll come out to see you guys.
All right, get out of here, Doug. Thank you. Travel safe.
Thanks, guys.
That's the first teamwork we have ever demonstrated.
Yeah, the only time. He talked about Harper making him cry. I should have told him I made you swear last week. That was my highlight of the show, to get you to say the F word out of anger on the show was awesome.
222 shows of this show where we can openly cuss, and probably 1,000 race events that I have never dropped an F-bomb.
I got to the FUC part of it, and then you kind of backed it down. You choked it back in. If Doug would have been here last week, I would have went to him like the baseball fan he is for the third base umpire ruling, to say was that a full strike, or did we just did we check that one? I think that would have been called.
Oh, did I check that swing? I thought I blurted it out. But...
Yeah, no, you didn't quite get to the K, but you were close.
All right.
Big weekend,
and it was still a hot topic. It was still a hot topic at the track Friday, which is fabulous.
I was going to bring Doug back into it, but we'll see how it goes. So it was about we're talking about, if you watched last week, where the safety worker got kicked in the ass, and we were fighting about whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, let's talk about this weekend. Our first foray into Racing America, Adam. Big opportunity for us. I think from the G4 side, from the APC side as well. But our crew's taking this seriously. To broadcasting in the States with Racing America is a big thing. Excited to be a part of it. Spencer, you have the promo code if you do throw it up. And we'll also promo video for this week, Adam, which has been running on Racing America and on the thing called the internet.
Yeah, we've got some new tricks coming up for this weekend. So not only did we shoot a lot of footage on the media weekend that we held, but also a few new elements, I guess is what we call them, to throw into the program. And I hope people are going to enjoy them. It's going to be new for all of us.
All right. Spencer, roll the promo if you got it.
Saturday, May 18th, Canada's hottest late model series partners with the Ultimate Stream Team to kick off the 2024 season at Sunset Speedway. Coverage of the season opener for the ABC United Racing Series starts at 6 p.m. Tune in to see qualifying for the APC late models, plus features for the support divisions and the main event, the Dayco 100. See it all Saturday, May 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern on RacingAmerica.com.
I like that guy's
We'll be live.
voice.
We'll be live, Greg Callanan, for those watching. We'll be live Saturday without Greg. Jamie Maudsley will be in the house with us Saturday night live, 6 o'clock. I'm sure Brendan and Doherty will be hanging around too. From Sunset Speedway. So excited to be out there getting that on. We'll also bring in the Can-Am Midget feature and the Oscar Modified feature as well. So excited to have that on. Liam Martin said he was going to be joining us second. Said he didn't know how he had to download something. Spencer, did he have to download something from that link? Is that a common problem? I don't hear that very often, but there we go.
He's on.
Like the kid's like, what, 16? He should be able to figure this stuff out. I'm just bugging you.
Right?
Did he hear that? Liam is probably – how old? Hey, let's play this game. How old is Liam Martin? Adam, guess?
I would have sucked working at the carnival, but I'll bet you Liam Martin is 23 years old.
I was going to say 22, but I was thinking 21. Liam, how old are you?
21. You were closer.
My gut told me to say 21, but Adam dragged me up to 23.
You're going to get carded until you're 40.
Yeah, probably.
Good thing. Liam, how long have you been driving sprint cars? Seems like you've been around a long time for a kid who's 21. Okay.
Clint's breaking up quite a bit.
Yeah. So the question, how long have you been racing sprint cars? For a 21-year-old, you're almost a veteran.
Yeah. Well, sprint car racing began when I was 13. We purchased the first crate sprint car, the 29, and officially drove it at 14 after my birthday.
So 7 years. Well, this will be your 8th year of wheeling sprint cars. Last weekend was Lawrenceburg. Talk about your experience there.
Lawrenceburg was a neat place. We never been there before, never seen a race live, just watched a bunch of videos. It's like a bit smaller than Oswego type racetrack with a higher bank and seems to build a curve all the time. So it was pretty neat.
You're in there against some tough competition too. And I mean, what names did I know? This is Horseman, Daggett, Ryan Coniam was down there with the top 10 finish, your teammate Ryan Turner. Talk about the level of competition and how your Nitro 54 team stacked up against it.
Competition's always tougher in the States, it seems. No matter where you go, you always get a bit stiffer competition. I think guys race a little harder down there because they do it more for a living than what we do up here, which is partially true, I think. So every time we go down there, it's super stiff, but we stacked up pretty well. We're always able to time trial good in the groups, but I find working up to the aggression level of them is probably one of the biggest kickers.
Clint's having a little bit of connection issue, so I don't know. Spencer, is he still here or is he rebooted? Okay, perfect. Liam Martin just said you have to pick up the aggression. You are the most, probably, if I had to pick one driver, it would probably be between you and Dylan Westbrook as to who is the most aggressive at the Big O. So how many more levels are there? How much farther can you push it, Liam, in terms of aggression?
It's honestly hard to say. You kind of just got to go to the places where different crowds race and see what kind of like competition levels you can get. Now, there's obviously competition levels based on series and different horsepower like motors you can run. Obviously, 410 sprints is a huge jump right there, and you'll get better competition and stiffer competition there, and a bit more aggression level. And in 360 racing, I find it's just all the top tier drivers that you get to race against really show you how aggressive they race and how aggressive you kind of have to be to kind of come dominant.
And what do you think that's going to do for you when you come home opening night Friday at the Big O?
It's definitely going to benefit for sure. Now, we've raced with a couple different groups and lots of different guys since Oswego last year, so it's going to take maybe a couple laps in the heat race, a couple laps in the feature just to get used to everyone's level again, and then kind of decipher from there what you do and how aggressive you can be and go from there.
Liam, what sort of goals have you laid out for 2024. Let's stick to just Ohsweken.
Yep.
First, what's the goal for you and your race team?
Well, it's hard to set goals. You want to, the first goal that we always love setting is just to try and park the car back in the trailer at the end of the night. No like big mishaps or no big repairs in the night. That also stacks up from your winter too, and how much preparation you put in and how much effort you put into your car, making everything pretty good. And then we've come second place 2 years in a row now with championship. I think we're aiming for the top spot, but if we don't get it, we don't get it. But that's probably our goal.
Can you think back on the last 2 seasons? Were there nights where if you'd have maybe been a little bit more cautious, you could have contended for a championship? And would you ever trade aggression for consistency, giving up a spot here and there, but maybe getting more consistent finishes to race for a title? Or are you just going to be Liam Martin and drive that way and hope it leads you to a championship?
Well, it's hard to decipher. The one night that kind of killed us last year was the opening night at Ohsweken in 2023. We ended up on our lid in corner 3, just hit a big bump, and Clinton's back.
Right.
Hit a big bump into 3, and it sent us on our lid. Now, I don't want to say that's just an aggression thing. I think it was just a big driver mishap. There was obviously a hole there, and I just missed it, the one corner, and we dug in and went over. So if we hadn't had that night, we wouldn't have had that DNF, which would have been huge to the end of the season. I think we're not even 20 points behind Bowman. So that could have been it right there.
And I'm not suggesting that your aggression has cost you a championship. I was just trying to make up questions while I was missing Clint at the same time, and it was hard to balance all that. Clint, welcome back.
I think it almost balances out though, Adam, because you kind of got to be aggressive. You know, some nights more than others, and then you got to be cautious some nights, just depending on track and everything.
Yes. Yep.
And that plays out for your points at the end of the season.
Liam, let's talk about the guys who are putting you on the track. You know, Steven and Dan. These guys had 2 very different styles in their own right. You know, Steve was low and slow and smooth, and Dan was balls to the wall, crashing or running fast. You know, what kind of advice are they giving you about your driving style?
Well, start with Steve. Steve is big influencer of the track when he does make it out to us. Doesn't always, sadly, but when he does make it out, he just needs you got to talk through a night and talk through what you got to do to your car, what should be done to your car. So, awesome benefit of having his driving experience into mine. So, and then on Dan's behalf, Dan just loves what we do and loves the aggression level, loves to see me fly out there. So he just keeps saying, give her, and we keep doing it. So.
What conversations have you had about travel? Will your travel slow down now that the local season is here, or do you guys still have some bucket list tracks or some key races that you're going to travel to?
Yeah, for sure. I know we're going to stick more local for sure. Now, SOS I think has dropped a couple more races than they had last year, 12 to 9. So it'll open up a little bit of space in the middle of the season or at the start of the end. So we might try and travel a bit more. I know Brandon says he wants to make it to Eldora, so I think we're going to try and do that bucket list track. And there will be a couple more, but I got to look at the schedule to be refreshed.
You know, Liam, when we look at the track changing at Ohsweken, you know, seemed to get really slick the last couple of years. I mean, we got video. Spencer, do you have the video of the track work going on today? I wasn't going to share this because it scared the shit out of me until last summer when they put it back together. But they did this 3 days before the NASCAR race, and it was gorgeous. This is my video from this morning, you know, around 10:30 this morning at the Speedway. And so what the theory here is, that's all wet clay. And you're an excavation, Liam, so maybe you can attest to what they're doing here. This is all wet clay with a kind of a wet spring that they haven't been able to deal with drainage yet without cutting a massive gap, and I mean even bigger than this, basically taking a chunk out. When I was up there, I had my hands in this. This is actually wet clay that's underneath that the plan is they dry it out, and then they'll put it all back layer by layer by the weekend. So in the past, this would scare the heck out of me. But I mean, Glenn showed me on 2 occasions last summer that they can repair the track, and we knew turn 1 was a bit soft. They were trying to get that. What does that video do to your psyche at all, Liam? Does that worry you? Does it make you feel like, hey, it's the right call? What's your thoughts on that? And again, I wasn't going to share that, but Glenn put it on a TikTok video today, so we're going to talk about it.
Well, honestly, it's been done many times in the past, and it's all like worked out all the time. So not too concerned with it, but from the excavation side of things, that's just telling me that they got a water spot down there somewhere, or an old drainage pipe that just keeps leaking and causing them problems. So best they can do is, like you said, Clint, let it dry out and roll it back in with a big packer and try and smoothen it off as best as they can. But on the note, it's scaring me, not really, because they've fixed it in the past and it's been fine. So
I just want to test that. I mean, there is a natural spring under there that they can't really deal with. So there's been talk about, I think we might even talk about last week, putting like weeping tile gravel and then encasing it with concrete so that won't all vibrate up through the dirt to the top, and then put the dirt back on top of the concrete encasement is what they've been discussing lately. So anyways, Adam, go ahead.
No, Glenn explained it to me last week like a pie. The crust is on the top, but the problem is what's below it. And you could see how wet it is, because that will never dry. You can't dry clay that's 6 feet under the surface. The sun's got to get to it. So like you say, it's terrifying to see that, but seeing what they had done last season, we've got an amazing track crew. So Liam, talk about that, because track conditions cost you on opening night last year. How tough, you sort of alluded to it, but I'm just going to ask you again, how tough is it opening night when you're never quite sure what the track's going to give you?
Well, it is always a bit tougher, especially with us not attending practice because of our absence for our race last weekend. So it's going to be a bit leery going into night 1, no doubt. But you always play it by ear. You go out there for your hot laps and get a feel for it. Just take a good visual on how the track's breaking apart or staying together, or how fast it's slicking off, and you go from there, really.
No, I guess, Liam, my question would be, like, on a night like that, or in a situation like that, if you do have that problem where, opening night doesn't go your way, is it something that, you give the same weight to every night out there? And, I mean, everybody seems to, like, get really broken if they have a bad night opening night, but you can have a bad night in July that's going to cost you just the same weight as it does in May. So is this a team mentality? Just keep it on straight, put as many points on the board as you can every week, and keep it as positive as possible?
Oh, definitely, for sure. You wanna aim to have a good night no matter what, and opening night would be the best night to take it easy. Depending on how it goes, if you are comfortable and very confident in the track and your car, you can go pretty much as hard as you want. But you want to take it easy and just make sure that you can get through the first night. It's always good.
He's going to be fun to watch, folks. Liam, good luck this weekend. Good luck all season long. I'm sure we'll be talking to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Liam Martin, 360 Driver Dash Weekend. Be great to see him in action. Of course, you can watch live on GeForce TV, free Friday night, 7:30. If you can't be with us, make sure you check it out. So, Adam, we're live 3 days in a row. You and I, we're going to start the I was joking earlier, track bashing season. That's what it is now. It's time for everybody to start complaining and bitching about everything they don't like. And, it's not duck season or wabbit season. It's track bashing season. Oh, man, the love I've gotten already is great. We haven't even got a night in yet.
But listen, we've got a driver with us right now, Clinton, who has nothing to complain about. He should be the happiest driver in Ontario this weekend because he has already experienced every piece of bad luck a driver could experience over the last couple of years. 2024 is a fresh beginning for someone who needed it. The very first champion of the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series in 2007, Andrew Ranger from Roxton Pond, Quebec, joins us. He will be at CTMP. Andrew, I love seeing that smile, man. How excited are you to get this season started?
Oh, man. Hi, guys. Very happy to be here tonight. And I'm so exciting. It's brand new season for me, new team, new crew chief, new caller, everything is new for me for 2024. Very exciting. And like you said, we have so much bad luck in the last few years. So I will try my best to do well this year. I think we put everything, all the energy, the money, the sponsor, the crew, everything is on the table right now to do well. So very exciting to start this weekend at the CTMP.
Andrew, I'm going to ask you about people tonight. Let's first start off with a guy like JC Paillet. What does a gentleman like that do for your career when he comes in and kind of, puts his arm around you and says, "You're my guy now"?
Well, you know what, JC Paillet, it's not just a sponsor, it's a friend. It's a guy that loves racing. He put all of his energy in that program. And you know what, he knows racing, so he's not very tough on the guys. He's not putting a lot of pressure on me. He say, "Look, I know you do your best. Do what you can, and be safe, man." But he's a very good friend and a good guy to have behind me.
Andrew, how hard was it to have your 27 car look identical to the 96 car, but the performance was not the same? And not even the performance, because when the car was right, you were great, but you just couldn't get to the end of a race. Different failures week in and week out. How tough is that when from the outside people look at you as identical teammates, but it really wasn't the case, was it?
No, definitely not. We have the same color. Everything was the same, but you know what? We try very hard with David White. I think every time we broke, we were in the top 3, top 4. So we proved that we were fast, but we could finish races. So it was definitely tough for us to see the 96 in front and win some race and win the championship the first year and finish second the second season. So we all know what we can do. We did it in the past. Unfortunately, it didn't work for us for 2023. But right now, everything changed. And with the new wrap, new color, new design. So I just hope that, everything turned around and go to the right direction.
I was going to ask you after a season like last year, what do you change? But you definitely changed everything pretty much but the number. Andrew, let's talk about a guy like Alan LaBrosse. He's big coming into the series now as the general manager of NASCAR Canada. He came in with a big reputation, but you know him intimately. He's helped out your career quite a bit. What is a guy like Alan LaBrosse going to do for the series?
But to have Alan LaBrosse did so much for me. He started me in go-karts, and after this, open wheel, IndyCar to NASCAR, all the series that I did there, I did a lot. So to me, to have Alan, I was the head coach, but the president of the NASCAR Canada, I think it's a lot. A lot of people. Racing. This is a good point of to have him on board. You know what? I think it's just good for the future. It's good for NASCAR Canada. It's good for the driver. So like you say, you have a good reputation. So I just hope he do well this year and he prove to the series that all the rules, everything is the same for everybody and make everybody happy too, outside of the track, inside of the track. So this is what I'm expected to see him.
Andrew, if the rules are applied evenly to every race team, so if everyone has the same opportunity to succeed, how many races will you win this year? Where can you finish in the points championship? You have to think about it.
Yeah. But you know what? It's I want to win the championship. Definitely. With the 2 years that I have bad luck, only thing I wish, it's finish in the top 3. Then I know I want to do well. I want to win some race, but I just want to start this weekend to see where we are. We have a brand new crew chief. It's in Clich that the crew chief Baba Wallace and the Cup. So that guy has so much experience. He can bring a lot for me and for Kevin Lacroix. And you know what? I just want to start the season this weekend and see where we end up with that. And after that, I will be able to talk a little bit more about the championship.
Andrew, obviously a win would be amazing for you and your new team, but let's talk about like realistic expectations. What gets you on the drive home Sunday night and feeling like, okay, we were on the right path? Is that a top 10? Is that a top 5? Is that a top 3? Where are you at to feel like, okay, guys, we can do this?
Well, you know what? To finish on the podium, top 3, to be at the tech at the end, to prove that the mechanical car everything is all right. Everything is new almost. So I just want to prove to myself, prove to my crew chief, my guys, that Ranger is back and we can do well. And if we finish in top 3 every weekend, but we probably have a chance to win another championship. So this is my goal. I know we can do it. I proved in the past. But I just want to make sure that everybody are on the same page and we can do well for the rest of the season.
Andrew, what's the biggest difference between Andrew Ranger right now and the Andrew Ranger that won in 2007, the very first NASCAR Canada Championship?
A little bit bigger. No. And I'm not the same guy. You know, it's I have more experience. I know what we need to win a championship. I know what I want. You know what? Everything I don't know what to say, actually. I think I'm just a better guy, a better driver. And you know what? I think everything is a little bit positive right now. So that's it.
How do you feel about CTMP, Andrew? You know, is it a place you love going to, a place you feel confident you can set this team off on the right foot?
Well, CTMP, we test there 3 weeks ago, and that car was very, very, very fast. And I really like all the design of that car, the new car. I like the horsepower. I like everything, actually. So this is a point that I'm very expecting a lot this weekend. And like I say, if we can finish in top 3, I'll be more than happy and gain some point, win some point, and be there at the tech. And you know what? It's everything to make everybody comfortable and make sure that we are there at the end.
Andrew, I've only got one more question for you because I don't want you to have to sit in your car all night long. It's from a viewer, and it's interesting. Do you have any aspirations to start a race team? Be like a Scott Stackley after your driving career ends?
Yes and not. Yes, because it's to be a race car driver, you like to own everything, the hauler, your team, and this is something that I would like to have. But at the same time, it's a lot of work. It's not just a lot of work, but it's a lot of money. Everybody know that if you start to zero to the top, pit box, the trailer, the truck, the crew, wholesale, everything costs so much money. This is the point where I'm like, I'm not 100% sure about that. But yes, it's maybe a dream. If I have somebody behind me that is willing to put the money and be partner with me, definitely, yes, I would like to maybe 1 year try,
One last question for you, Andrew. We'll let you get out of here. Viewer question. You've been known to drive a sprint car on dirt before. When the NASCAR series comes to Ohsweken, any desire to get in a 360 or crate sprint?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I will say, I would like, I drive a sprint car in Granby, Quebec, but I'm more modified guy, big block, small block. I feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't want to say that I can drive a sprint car because I know I can do well, but at the same time, it's so fast. It's crazy how fast it is. And every time I watch a sprint car race, I'm like, holy, I don't know how they can turn that car in the corner. But if maybe I have an opportunity, we'll see. Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. But this is a good question.
Andrew, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know time is precious, and we appreciate you joining us, man. I look forward to seeing you succeed.
Thank you very much, guys. Very happy to talk to you tonight, and see you this weekend.
We'll see us this weekend. Andrew Ranger, star of the NASCAR Canada Tour, on display this weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, along with a lot of other great series too.
Have we ever had Andrew on our show? He doesn't do a lot of interviews, but people don't understand what a cult hero he is in Quebec. You know, you've got Gilles Villeneuve, Jacques Villeneuve, Alex Tagliani. They're all upper echelon superstars. Patrick Carpentier. Andrew Ranger is a man of the people. He's the little guy that made it. And he's never shaken that image. He is still the cowboy that everybody wants to get behind.
You know, even if it's just incremental, because he's always been an upbeat guy, you can almost see him walking on a cloud right now. Like a big weight is lifted out of his backpack that he might have had last year at the end of the season. You know, just you're trudging to the car. I think he's going to float into the car on Sunday and be ready to go. And, you know, we wish him the best. Great personality. You know, he's just one of those guys that the series needs. And what a rebound on the series with car counts this weekend. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great all season long. And I'll tell you, I asked him that question very intentionally because I know it chapped his ass. That put his car and Cameron's car side by side, and they look identical. They are not. They were prepared in different provinces. They were not similar. For whatever reason, doesn't matter. But the mechanical failure after mechanical failure for Ranger was just gut-wrenching.
Yeah, we should see a good rebound this weekend. Lots of stuff going on. It is officially racing season wherever you are. If you're watching this program, your track is open and kicking it this weekend. You know, just to recap once again, we will be at Osh Weekend live with G-Force Friday. We'll be live at Sunset with the APC on Racing America. Saturday night, we'll be live with the NASCAR Canada Series on Flow on Sunday.
What kind of whores are we? We're broadcasting 3 days in a row on 3 different platforms. Like hooker for hire.
Hey man, you pay, we play. We're there.
Now, top secret, some of the production values are going to be very similar.
Going to be very similar? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Some
regardless of where you. Yes.
Might be in
some of them, not all. Not all.
Hey, we're happy to keep rolling. What else do we have to say about Oshmi? Oh, new rules in the pits. I don't know how this is going to go over, but we announced today nobody under 14 can drive any vehicles. No personal parking in the pits, and the biggest one of all, helmets on quads and pit bikes now. So a lot of people unhappy about that, but you know, insurance has stepped up and said get helmets on those people. So
you know
that's
what?
Where we're at now.
Not just insurance, but common sense. And I don't think people intentionally abuse their privileges, but when an ATV gets used for a reason other than pushing a sprint car, you know, I'm old and fat. I got to walk across the pits. 12-year-old, you got to walk across the pits. Or 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
Look, we had 90-plus cars at practice on Friday, and it was a zoo. We're expecting another 40 to 50 possibly on any given Friday, especially with the 5 divisions. So we need to eliminate as many unnecessary vehicles in the pits rolling around as we can. But, hey, it was just a matter of time. Yeah, Chapman, that's a good question. How long till one of us says G-Force or Racing America on Flow or vice versa or tri versa? You know, we do have a standing bet with Todd Lewis for the first one who messes up NASCAR Canada, because one of us is definitely going to drop it as its old moniker at some point throughout the year. But, yeah.
I'm going to put some cheat cards on Post-it notes and stick them to my monitor. Tyler, it was great to hang with you on practice night. Spencer, if you can throw up that picture, Tyler is a huge fan of racing. He was able to come down for practice night at Oshwegan, meet a bunch of race car drivers, and we sat in turn 3 in the pit grandstands to check out practice, and obviously had to get a selfie with him. But it was a good time sitting there hanging with him and talking racing.
That's awesome. We are getting to our Burger Barn videos of the week. Once again, Spencer, did you have that APC promo code? Did we end up playing that today? Did you show that? I'm trying to get him to talk. All right, I'll get it to you. Burger Barn videos of the week. Let's jump into that, and we'll see where we're at, and I'll get Spencer what he needs. I don't know where we're going, but let's have some fun. Oh, hovercraft racing. What about this, Adam?
Oh, I think that's awesome.
We need to do that one for sure. What you thinking?
Oh, that's cool.
These guys are wild. Love it, love it. Keep it rolling, Spencer. I'm trying to find you that code. Oh, look at this. This is spectator one-on-one racing, but it's spectator like 20-on-20 racing.
Is that New Smyrna?
I don't know where it is, but it is.
Dude, New Smyrna is way too fast to be doing this shit. Oh my God.
But can you imagine this? Us just putting a bunch of people on the track and letting them go out of here. No roll cages, no nothing. This is the ultimate run what you brought.
Dude, it is Florida. Have you ever done a Google search on like Florida news? What's the joke? It's something you put into Google. That is a high bank, bad fast racetrack.
All right, that's enough for that. What else we got?
Oof.
Craziness.
Very good,
Craziness.
approach into the chicane.
Okay, look at this.
Excellent
This is
momentum
Michael
carried
Schumacher
by Shearer.
battling out in an indoor go-kart track. Look at the banking at this indoor go-kart track, and look at how twitchy these things are.
And forces Shearer
Looks like a blast.
to go almost past
We need to build an
It
indoor
does.
go-kart oval like this.
before he came
Sure.
back and out of the chicane. So shades there of Schumacher and Lacey trying to battle each other around.
Like
Adelaide.
real life.
Wow.
Both staying on the brakes until way past the turn-in point.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else we got? Oh, this was like when a storm came in. And you know there's people outside saying, the track's going to dry, we can still race, right?
Right? Wow.
Look at this. This was almost like what happened at TTMP 2 years ago.
Yeah, and we've seen some biblical storms at Cayuga over the years. Like where the grandstands lift off the ground from the wind. It's been sketchy.
That's wild. Keep them coming, Spence. Bro, this is not an improved way to unload a barrel of fuel. You rednecks out there. Whoever's doing this, just stop. Please.
Oh, wait a second. So far, so good. I don't know. The barrel was on the truck, and now it's off the truck. No explosions.
Look at.
I mean, obviously, those
Bubba
are
J-
Nomex shorts they're wearing.
Hey, look at. Obviously, it worked because Bubba and J Bob
Ow.
been doing this since they was 12. Since they was 12
Nope.
teens. So, like, obviously it works. But hey, man, all it takes is one puncture and a spark, or when it rolls back and they hit off the trailer hitch for it to be punctured and sparked, and you lose everything, including your life. Oh, now we're gonna start
good.
throwing around cylinders.
Yeah, there we go. And they,
But
wow.
can we? You think that's acceptable? You think it's smart? And I can't say I haven't done it. I rolled one up a ladder
Listen.
before to get in Todd Gordon's truck. So
I traveled with Stevie Smith back in the early 90s when he ran NASCAR with the Adults Only video sponsorship. And we went and raced Ottawa, and St. Eustache one weekend. And I rode back in the back of the pickup truck with a couple of those bottles rolling around with me, like in the truck bed, hauling back from Quebec. So safety first.
Wait a minute. You didn't come all the way back from Quebec in the back of a pickup truck, did you?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
call
place with
bullshit.
leg room.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Dude, it was the early 90s. I can draw you a picture if you'd like.
All right. I set you up for that one. All right. What else we got, Spencer? There's got to be more on the list today.
This is where we've got.
All right. What do we got
racing.
now?
We've had a couple of races this year decided by what? 1, 2, 3 thousandths of a second.
Here we go.
Now we're getting to the point we've got to scrutinize the edge of the line.
So post-event, NASCAR on multiple handles, even Ben Kennedy, sent this photo out. So let's explain what we're looking at, how NASCAR uses it. What you're looking at is a line scan photo. It sounds very fancy, right?
It is, and it really, you should dig into this and look into line scan photos because it's a different technology, and this isn't a picture. This is kind of put together. It's interesting.
What we're looking at here is an instantaneous photo created the moment that the 5 car touches the start-finish line. At that point, it timestamps it, and then you're looking at multiple slices of many photos that all get put together to give you an overall look. And then as a point of reference, the red line is dropped in. That's the tip of the 5 splitter. The black line is the tip of the 17 splitter. At that moment in time, Kyle Larson is leading the 17 of Chris.
We all agree. No fighting here this week. If we fight next week, Adam and I will pick something good to battle. With 3 nights of racing that we're all calling, we're going to find something to argue about.
Did we not have a video of a fight? Who was fighting in that?
Where he was hanging off the side of the modified.
Yeah, there was that Chris Stockham posted. That was old. That was from 2013, but yeah, pretty sketchy.
Back at it again. Don't forget, Ashweekend has Schrader Friday night with the UMP and Canadian mods, and he's off to Maryville on Saturday, so he'll have a busy weekend here in Ontario. What are you most looking forward to this weekend, big guy?
All of it, really. It's not kind of a cop-out, Clinton, but opening night at Ashweekend. You know what? I'm not going to say opening night at Ashweekend because 5 divisions at the Big O scares the hell out of me. But it will be fun to see it all play out. But that's tough for opening night with a new race director. I think it could be a challenge. I love rolling into CTMP and catching all the action and the fans and seeing what crew member is on what team this year and seeing the reality of all the different rumors you heard all winter long. And then, of course, the opener for the APC series. I think it's going to be great as well. I think people that were concerned about car counts, I think we're going to see some decent turnout and a real good show, and they're going to realize that things with APC are live as well.
For sure. That's a great point.
Live as well? Live and well.
No, I think you bring up a good point that I meant to talk about today. And, back around November, it was, this guy's leaving the series, that guy's leaving the series. NASCAR was in trouble. APC late models were in trouble. Everything was doom and gloom. But, even just in the last couple of days, Taylor Holdaway says he's going to be racing now in the APC in selected events today. We had, Brendan McFerrin come out and say he's going to race. So I think we're going to have a great field on Saturday at Sunset. Of course, it's, what's become what I call a heritage weekend at Sunset, which is, they built some history there on Velocity Weekend. So a lot of campers, and they will kick off the racing weekend up at Sunset. And just have to be a part of it. It's been a great experience to be with the APC series and get to travel around and be part of these deals. So it's cool. I know Spencer's been busy getting everything reworked. He makes me nervous. He's not stressed, which makes me stressed. If he was at least freaking out about a couple things, I could maybe all right, he's got some issues, but he'll work it out. The fact that he just keeps all to himself makes me extra nervous. I probably love it. And, wow. Today, Adam, I got back to a new corner with paperwork. I was like, oh, man, I got to fight my way out of this one today.
Well, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, Clinton, because for the last 7 months, I think you call me as much as I call you. I'd say we're 50-50. Is that fair?
Yep.
So half the time we talk on the phone, I call you. And I love doing this. Hey, what are you doing? 9 times out of 10, I'm just working. Oh, I'm doing paperwork at my desk. And I want to say, no, you're not. Bullshit. Tell me you're scratching your nuts. Tell me you're watching old episodes of Bonanza. But to tell me you're sitting at the desk doing paperwork is such a load of shit. When I call you in February I know you get things done. Like, I know that you have a lot of irons in the fire and you always make things happen. But I also know you don't do that in January. So I know it comes down to this week. This week when I call you, you won't even answer.
This week.
No, you won't answer because you're too busy doing paperwork.
Actually, I was driving today and I called you last couple days. So, man, it's crazy how you do one thing and it affects 7 other things. Like we raised the person one class and then it brought up a bunch of other issues in another class because now they were making more, and it's just, wow, it's crazy how it all comes together. I do miss Doug already in a few facets. I'm confident Dave's going to be our guy going into it, though. So we're excited. I think I think everything's going to come together quite nicely for us. What else we got?
Nick has a question for you.
Yeah. Sometimes, if you get hurt, there's paperwork. Yes. Oh, that might be a good way to stop.
And
so
what
you're doing.
Don't let any of the viewers think that I don't think you're doing serious work all winter long. You are. I just don't think you're documenting it with proper paperwork. You're keeping the balls in the air, juggling, and this is the week that all the dots have to connect on paper for all the work that you did all winter to come to fruition.
Well, I make promises all winter, so I should say I'm at my desk making promises, and this week I'm making paperwork to fulfill those promises. Just all the little things like, hey, we need a staff list for the program. So tonight, that's one thing I have to sit down and get ready so they can get that in the program printed for the weekend. Today was pit notes and pit parking. Oh my God, pit parking is a pain in the ass, man. Trying to get 100 guys a spot in the pits is it's a tough task, but we get it done. So I think that's about it, bud.
It is. We got to address the fans. Fans looking to see Connor racing this weekend. You're not going to. He's going to be a little bit late getting out onto the racetrack, but hopefully this summer he will get there. Connor is learning the value of $1 and the fact that Daddy's got none. So everything he's doing is out of his own pocket. It's taken him a little bit longer than he thought, but he'll get there.
Now he's going to find out how bad the bug bit him. Did it just kiss his ass a bit, or did it chomp right in there to the point that you're throwing all your money at your problems now? So, no, good deal. Thank you, Spencer, for all you've done in the offseason. Man, the next time you see us, hopefully we're on a race screen and there's race cars buzzing in the background. Adam and I will be your hosts across 3 nights this weekend, as we mentioned a few times. G-Force, Racing America, and Flow. And then, of course, we cannot forget to talk about, we are live weekly on Rev TV Canada starting next Wednesday as well. So maybe we'll get Ed or Mike on from Rev Canada to talk about that and the full force package that we'll be putting out. That means APC. If you don't have Racing America, you can catch it on Rev TV next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Spencer, do you have the APC code now that I sent you? If we could throw that up before we go. This may be everybody's last chance. So get out your phone, QR code, check it out. This is your last shot for a good deal for all the Canadian APC race fans, because I think this will be the last time they'll offer it once we get into it. Still only about $10 or $12 to watch. A ton of great action. Make sure you check it out. RacingAmerica.tv. That's it, bud.
If there's one thing, if there's one thing I want to close with, Clinton, it is how nice it was to spend the night Friday at Ohsweken in the pits, watching from the back grandstands, and to see how excited people were to be back at the racetrack together.
Yeah, I agree. The buzz was there. It was great. I know even the gate girls, Chris Miller, Johnny Miller's mom, this is like a freaking NASCAR race. Where are all these people come from? Because normally a practice is 10, 20 cars. We had 90 plus cars, so it was insane. Everybody's ready to go racing. So am I. So Spencer. So's Adam, and the rest of the G-Force crew. We'll see you at a racetrack somewhere this weekend. Remember, be kind and help out racing. It needs all the help you can get.